Hey everyone, welcome to BSS Oz. My name's Royce, and today we are talking Battle Spirit Saga Junior. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, lately I've picked up Battle Spirit Saga, as, as we all know by this point, and my young son. So I've got two sons; they're 5.5 and 3.5. But my oldest has been watching me play, and he's been keen to get into it. He's loving the awesome artwork on the cards. And yeah, he's just keen to pick it up and learn to play something with Dad. So look, I thought I'd take a moment to talk through how it is I've taught my oldest son, who's 5.5, to play Battle Spirit Saga, or a more simplified version of it, so to help him kind of introduce it and not feel pretty overwhelmed from the get go. Now, look, this video is mostly aimed at parents wanting to teach their kids about Battle Spirit Saga, but look, I think what I'm going to cover here, I think, has some value in kind of breaking down the concepts of Battle Spirit Saga to teach other adults too as well. If, as you taught someone, they're a bit overwhelmed by everything at once, you can just say, look, let's back it up. What are our core things we want to teach about here? Core things that we want to break down so people can learn this game and enjoy it as well. So look, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so first thing I want to discuss is the use of spirits only. So as I thought about this, thought about all the kind of aspects of Battle Spirit Saga, obviously you've got the essence, the core of Battle Spirit Saga being the core, the resources, the life. But the next thing I kind of saw was the use of spirits. Spirits are what you need to be able to deal damage to your opponent, to bring their life down, and ultimately to win the game. And ultimately, I think that's what's a lot of the fun. They're kind of beating spirits against each other, seeing who comes out on the top. So that's kind of the first place I've started. I've focused on primarily using vanilla creatures as well. What I mean by vanilla, just creatures that have no other effects primarily, just a solid stat line. And yeah, and for my oldest son, as I said, he's 5.5, it's been good for him in kind of teaching those early stages of numeracy, of comparison of different numbers to see which is higher, which is lower, who gets the win. So yeah, it's been a great teaching opportunity I found there to help him out. The next thing I want to cover is the use of burst cards. So burst cards, they're out of here. Now, the reason why I kind of started with this is I think it's a bit hard for children to conceptualize that idea of the hidden burst zone. For one, to keep track of they have a card there. The other is to keep in mind that card is only going to trigger once a certain condition is met. So that was one of the first things I thought, nah, look, they're cool. They have great effects in the main game itself. But when I'm teaching my son to play, I thought, that's probably something we can cut for now and look at introducing down the line. So burst, out of here. Next thing is nexuses. Next thing we scratched off. So nexuses, obviously, they play a very integral part to the game of Battle Spirit Saga. But when you're kind of looking at what a nexus does in kind of applying often a broad effect across your entire battlefield and your opponent. Again, it's kind of that another point that they have to keep track of during the game. And yep, again, it's something we will introduce down the line as we play. But I thought it was one of those concepts that we could, not include for the time being, and just look at bringing it in down the line. The final thing to mention is no soul core. So the reason why I kind of went with no soul core again is kind of you have often cards that have a dependent action upon having a soul core on them or using a soul core to activate an effect or whatnot. But yeah, again, it's just kind of that when you're playing the main game of Battle Spirit Saga, that's often a difficult choice to manage that resource and how you're going to assign that in a turn. What's the optimal choice of it? So I just thought, look, that's something I think we could just eliminate for now, and again, bring it down the line. Yeah, just another kind of management checkpoint that a young little 5-year-old doesn't have to consider. So look, those are the main things I've considered with teaching my oldest son to play Battle Spirit Saga. Here's a picture of him enjoying himself. Pretty sure he got the win on that game, so congrats to him. But yeah, I hope there's been some value in there for you. Hope you've hope you're keen. Hope you've got kids you can teach this game to. Raise the next kind of generation of summoners. But yeah, let me know what you reckon. If you have other thoughts, things I could adapt. If this has been any of use to you, I'd love to know that too. And other than that, I'll catch you next time. See ya.